15 of Pound the Walk podcast, baby.
Hell yeah, brother. Glad to be here. Glad that football's still going on. Glad that there's football tonight.
Gotta love it, man. And
Yeah.
it was an interesting week. It was a definitely interesting week. But it was fun to watch, man. Every week has been fun to watch, and I'm blessed to have football in our lives, and I'll be. That's not, I mean, like the regular season's coming to an end, but we still have months of football left, man.
Yeah, man. And a lot of stories unfolding, finding out what teams are going to make it.
It's things are getting a little shifty. I will admit that. So
Did you just do cocaine on the podcast?
legal cocaine, legal
Okay.
cocaine.
The boom booms or whatever?
The boom booms, man. Gotta get pumped.
Yeah, man. I mean,
All right, so let's just
I was down 8, right?
you're down. You're coming in down 8.
Down 8.
But let's see. Let's see if he chose poorly this week, or hey, did you? Are you bringing them all down? Or is it
I don't
gonna
know.
be
I feel like you had. I just know you. I'm pretty sure you had a good week. That's all I know. I forget. I didn't really reflect back on my picks yet, so I'm
All right,
scared.
well then let's reflect a little bit.
Oh yeah, let's see it, brother.
Let's go.
A lot of red. Oh my! So I see it once again. You just had a fantastic week of football
It's
picks,
a good.
and I picked
It's good, man.
Tennessee. I picked Arizona again to break my heart. I didn't get anything right that you got wrong. Damn. But yeah, okay. Let's just go. Let's just go. I'm down 11. Let me write this down before I ask again next week. Down 11. Mole is showing. That's sad. But okay, man. I guess we'll kick it off.
Actually, this should be 10 if the math is right. Because I got 2 wrong, you got 4.
Oh, I just saw 11 and 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
going 11 and 8.
I botched this one. I thought I
Okay,
had another one on you.
bet. Damn. See, no, you did that on purpose, but you felt morally conflicted right there, and then because you realized once I
I mean,
referenced
the math
mole.
is still gonna math at the end of the day. You got 4, and I got 2. I mean,
All right, fuck you. Mole is still showing. All right.
still in there, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into it.
Green Bay losing to Detroit. Man, it was a great game. I mean, I think Green Bay looked pretty solid, but at the end of the day, Detroit, man, they just keep these fourth down conversions. Their identity is their identity. Jared Goff is a clumsy goofball, but they can still win the games, right?
100% right. I mean,
Crazy.
look, Green Bay looked great, but Detroit they're doing what Detroit's been doing all year, and once again it showed. Looking more and more like they're going to be the kings in the north here.
Yeah, and maybe the whole damn NFL, man. They're just
Quite
nasty.
possibly.
I mean, they've been
Quite
our
possibly.
unanimous number one. But yeah, shout out Detroit. They just got to keep on rolling, stay, I guess, as healthy as they can be. They obviously have been fighting injuries, have a lot of guys off the street they've signed, but they're still balling. So, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And then here's the first game I got wrong. Tennessee. It was a stinker game. I think it was like 10 to something. It was like 10 to 6. It was
10-6
yeah.
game, and
Yeah.
I think it was 6-3 for the majority of the game. So it was not a great game to watch. I just had red zone up, and they popped up maybe once.
Yeah,
You
basically.
know, so, I mean, like it came down to just them scoring a tutty and Tennessee not getting anything going. I think they had a couple doinks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, Jacksonville just did whatever they had to do to get on top on this one.
Yeah, I was looking forward to my dog Westbrook Akine maybe making some consecutive noise here, but yeah, they couldn't do anything. No one produced on them for them offensively, so yeah, it was just a stinker of a game. But I guess we can move on to a more exciting game, right? New York versus Miami,
Yeah,
overtime
it was fun
win.
to watch. It was overtime. For most of the game, I thought the Jets were going to actually pull it off. Then late into the game, um, you know, Geno Smith,
Janu, yeah,
um,
Gino,
John
Janu, Janu.
John Smith,
Yeah,
he turned it up late in the
he's
fourth
been
quarter
balling.
and in overtime. He didn't get
Hmm.
a single touch until he got that last minute tutty, and then ultimately he won the game. So that was
Yeah,
exciting to watch, especially because I had him on fantasy this week. So
yeah, he's been cooking lately. And then, I mean, shout out Aaron Rodgers. He had a pretty good game. And Tyreek Hill had a good game for himself finally here.
Yeah,
He definitely
absolutely.
broke over the century mark, so that's good to
Yep.
see, I guess. But yeah, they're sniffing playoffs still. But yeah,
Yes, sir. All
Atlanta
right.
at Minnesota.
Atlanta at Minnesota. Minnesota. Doing what they do. They finally got a dub without it being such a close game. So shout out Vikings, man. They're starting to kind of get back into form. But on the flip side, though, Atlanta has been looking stinky the last couple weeks. So I don't know if that's more so Minnesota getting back in the groove of things or Atlanta just being Atlanta. But
Yeah,
good game.
yeah. Kirk's been turning the ball over a lot lately. He looks a little unsettled in the pocket. Maybe he's a little more banged up than he was beginning of the year because he definitely looked promising. But yeah, the Vikings, man. Sam Darnold, man. He threw for like 5 touchdowns. Had Justin Jefferson was having a game. I think Jordan Addison had a pretty good game too. They're just airing it out, and they're still
Yeah,
looking really good, dude. I mean, it's sad that they're in the Lions division, of course, for them, but they're gonna look like a
just
powerhouse team coming in.
makes for competitive football towards the playoffs. Yeah, Jordan Addison had a hat trick. Justin Jefferson had 2 tutties himself. Shout out to
Yeah,
Sam Darnold.
insane.
He's throwing for 350, so he had a great game. Bijan looked solid. Just you can't rely on a run game when you're down that many scores though. So
Yeah, and they had Algier score like I think their opening touchdown, or at least the first touchdown out of the two running backs, and that broke my heart fantasy wise, but it's all good, you know.
hey,
Uh,
it's all right.
it's a really good 1-2 punch. Algier just needs he hasn't really produced this year, but he's a dog. But we'll see. Maybe we'll see Penix soon. That'll be kind of exciting if the Falcons continue to keep losing this chance of the playoffs, or even if.
Yeah,
Who knows?
they are not looking great. So, I mean, I think they're down to less than 40% playoff chance right now. So if
Yeah,
they keep going
it's
down, maybe
fair.
we'll see Penix in there.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
next game we got the Saints beat in New York. I think there was like a blocked field goal that was a pretty big swing in this game. I think wasn't it like
It was the
14-11? I mean, I'm trying to find it here.
It's 14-11. Big man, I forgot his name,
Yeah,
jumps over the
14-11.
line, blocks the
Yeah.
field goal last
I
second.
think it was Brian Breesy or whatever, like
Yeah,
the D
he had a
tackle,
great
white
game.
dude.
He provided a ton of pressure all game long, and then for him to hit 300 pounds and just clear jumping over the line, didn't use leverage. Now, granted, his teammates did hold everyone down, but for him to jump over and then get that block was phenomenal to see and a great way to end the game for New Orleans. So
Yeah, man. I guess we'll just move on to that one because it was just ugly. I mean, I guess we'll
it was a
hopefully
slow game.
neighbors will continue to produce, but yeah, move on because Carolina actually looked pretty good.
They looked
But
fantastic
yeah,
against a
yeah.
good team.
Yeah, Philly, man. Philly, they still had to do what they had to do and got the dub. Devontae Smith was back. That was promising. He got a touchdown, I recall. So they're like getting pretty healthy and they're still winning these games, big games for them. But shout out Carolina. I was definitely happy to see Bryce Young still looking pretty good the last few weeks.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I think it was just they ran out of time at the end of the game. If they had a full fourth quarter or an extra couple minutes,
Yeah.
there was a very good chance that Carolina was going to start, getting down there and potentially scoring. Now, is it because Philly's playing soft defense, trying to keep them in bounds?
Yeah, bend don't break type vibes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
But the fact that they let it get to that point, it wasn't like we're going to show you something. Carolina, they fought to the very end, and if they had an extra minute, it could have gone a different way. So
Yeah. Oh, and also Jonathan Brooks, who's a very promising rookie running back who just came back like from a bad knee injury. I think he just tore his ACL on like his second touch of the game, like a non-contact fall down. Very unfortunate. That guy's gonna be out for another whole year. So Chuba Hubbard stock rises for fantasy. I guess that's one thing.
yeah, Chuba looks good, man.
Yeah.
And we had Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Sorry, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So they haven't had a sweep on them, and God knows how long. And Pittsburgh made sure that didn't happen again this week. It wasn't the greatest play. I mean, you're not gonna, uh, brag about your stat lines in this game if you're Pittsburgh, but you did what you had to do to get the job done.
Yeah.
It was an all-around effort.
I mean, they were without
That's all there is.
Pickens, I believe, too, if I
They
recall.
were,
Pickens didn't
yep.
play, so I guess I mean you do have a plug and play guy kind of guy there with Mike Williams, and I believe he made a play or two for them. And they just got the job done. Their defense still looks elite. Like I mean, Nick Chubb it's kind of been up not as good as what people were hoping when he came back. I mean, they're kind of like at this point he's like at a 50-50 split with Ford. So Pittsburgh's defense though they just limited them offensively, like could not run on them. So Pittsburgh's still looking really strong.
Yeah, good defense, and it's hard to beat a good defensive team like that at home. So shout out
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
shout out Pitt.
Vegas at Tampa Bay. I mean, is Tampa still fighting for it, man? I mean, they were a solid team most of the season. They've had a couple games where they didn't look amazing. I don't know if Baker had the best game of his career here.
He does it every week. I swear he starts off very hot. Like I think like on some like usually takes a 2 possession lead. Like fantasy wise, he's stocked up to like he's stocking up to get up more points than they projected, and then he just plateaus and he like keeps them in the game, especially a shitty team like Vegas. But they did that. That's exactly what happened. The Raiders like stayed competitively in the game because I think Baker threw a pick, and it was just just a little sloppy ball. Once they take a lead, Tampa needs to be more killer with that. I got Baker in one of my main fantasy leagues, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, look, Rashad White looked good. Cade Otton had a solid
Yeah.
game. Mike Evans, produced as well. So luckily he still has weapons to complete games. But like you said, Baker, he'll start hot and then he'll throw for 2 picks, stall out for a little bit, and then
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of dig deep in the end. Or, yep, there they go.
I was wondering if you
Uh,
could hear that.
oh, absolutely, 100%. I'm hoping mine don't do that this week.
Yeah, man.
But they still got the job done over a terrible Las Vegas team, who I believe is completely out of contention at this point. So shout out Tampa Bay, and then we'll hop into the next split here with Seattle at Arizona. Arizona, I mean, they started off sloppy, and they had a really hard time stopping Zach Charbonnet. They did limit Megatron 2.0 in the worst way.
No,
Apparently that's how we're going to take it.
it's baby
Babytron.
it's
So
Babytron.
they did limit Babytron quite a bit. JSN though just keeps getting open. I think he got 70, 80 yards that game. So and Kyler just started a little sloppy, man. He started slow. I'm sorry. He started off with a huge bomb. He looked amazing, and then he throws for a pick six, and then another pick afterwards. So he just needs to get a little more consistent there, and kind of settle down once he gets a huge play, knowing that it's not going to come every time. So
Yeah.
still a lot of potential with that guy.
Yeah, I mean Arizona, man, I've been wrong about them the last couple of weeks. I think early on in the season into the middle of the season they've played real competitive, complete football. Like Kyler's playing less, more mistake-free football early on, but like you said, couldn't get it done this week in a very big pivotal game too, man. So shout out Seattle, JSN, he's been really productive the last few weeks too, under Babytron's wing. So, but yeah, I was wrong, man. That's the only thing I'm really upset about here. Fuck Arizona, dude.
And I
Yeah.
was right.
Yeah, there you go. I guess we'll move on here though. Buffalo at the Rams. This was a hell of a game as far as like
Crazy.
fireworks, man. Yeah, and Puka Nakua, he has arguably we were saying this earlier before the pod, like arguably one of the best hands in the league. You could say he has the best hands in the league, dude. He just secure catches everything. Crazy sideline catches. I mean, Cooper Cup also pulled through. Uh, and yeah, Buffalo still looked really hot too. What can I say? I mean, it's a crazy game.
I think they had a lot of trouble early on stopping the run game. Kyron Williams was just getting
Yeah.
7, 8 yards a carry early on in the game. I thought he was going to definitely end the game with well over 87 yards, but that's where he kind of capped it there. Um, Puka Nakua though, man, he is him.
Mhm.
They go to him in every clutch moment, and I think there was only one time where he didn't come through, and I think it was after he kind of bumped his leg a little bit because he did have to go on the sideline and put that cast on, but he came right back out. He's a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He ended the game with 162 yards, but let's still talk about Josh Allen, man. He threw for 3 tutties. He rushed for 3 tutties. I ended up cashing out way earlier because of how that game was going. I think they had a 17-point lead at one point coming into the third quarter. So I cashed out a parlay. I probably could have stuck it in there and maybe made a little more money, but I'm glad I actually did because they did ultimately lose. But Josh
What a
Allen
game.
still was incredible. Uh, Buffalo may have lost, but Josh Allen is 100% still in the MVP contention.
Yeah, if they won this game, it'd be like people would be screaming it on ESPN, NFL Network. So I mean, yeah, it's just what a game. It was just a great game, I
Well, I
guess.
mean, you can't take it away from Josh Allen at that point. I mean, he still put up as an offense 42 points. You just can't give up 44 points
Yeah,
and expect to win
Buffalo.
games.
Well, that's what I was just about to say, and that's relevant to that. Buffalo, man, they're like the one team where, and they've adapted to it. Like obviously, their home field advantage is just so pivotal compared to others, especially in post game football. So, it, if they get those good matchups in the playoffs where they get to play at home and host, dude, it's like good luck. Like I mean, imagine I'm just thinking about like Justin Herbert and the Chargers. As much as I love us, like dude, us and like offensively, I don't know what our receivers would be able to do in the fucking snow like that. Like
No, I
that'd be
mean, there's
crazy.
probably only 3 or 4 teams that I could think of that could go into Buffalo and be
Yeah,
comfortable, right? And it's going to be one
KC.
of them's KC, Green
Yeah,
Bay, just because they're used to how
yeah,
cold it is.
yeah,
But even still, like teams like Minnesota and Detroit, they play in the dome,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they're not exposed to those
Well, that's what I'm
elements like
saying. And
others
then I
are.
mean, that's when you speak about conference because obviously post game. I mean, postseason. Obviously, interconference. Who in the AFC? It's just the Chiefs. I mean, and the Chiefs have found ways to prevail. I think Buffalo hosted them at least once,
Maybe,
but I
maybe
don't think it was
Cleveland or
snow.
Pittsburgh could come in there and be comfortable,
Yeah,
like
yeah, especially
physically wise.
Steelers with their offense. But yeah, that's just a good
Um,
conversation. Like, who can do it, man? Buffalo just has that big pivotal home field advantage.
it's massive. So I mean, again, there's
Yeah,
only a small handful of AFC teams that I could ever think could come into Buffalo and not be freezing their dicks off the entire
yeah.
game.
Like Tua and the Dolphins. Hell no.
Oh no,
Hell
absolutely
no.
not. I mean,
Hell
even the
no.
Ravens coming in there, I don't think is gonna.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
I mean, Derrick Henry, and Lamar, like that's a great offensive scheme to have against that, but nope, I
Yeah,
don't
but I
see it.
mean, December's in Baltimore, man, are 50 degrees. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's different.
it's not
It's
the
just
same.
different, and then the fan base, yeah, it would be different. But yeah, man, we'll
No.
keep going here.
Shout out
Chicago,
Rams, man. Huge win. They're
yeah,
right on the cusp right now for
yeah.
being in the hunt. So
I was right all along. I was right all along.
they're still hanging in there. They're on the outside looking in right now, but a couple more big wins like this, they can absolutely secure maybe that seventh spot.
Hell
All
yeah,
right, let's go to Chicago at San
yeah,
Francisco. A big game for San Francisco. They came out. I think they won 38-13. So they really
something like
limited
that.
Caleb
Yeah,
Williams out there. Brock Purdy was looking solid. Guerrero was looking good. I think he got hurt at some point. I don't know what happened. Um, I don't know if he came back in the game or not, but
yeah. I remember he got
uh,
hurt, but I don't remember.
they San Francisco looked really good. Offensively and defensively. George Kittle had a hell of a game. I
Juan
think he had like
Jennings,
Juwan Jennings had another huge game. So
not
shout out San
Debo.
Francisco. Yeah, Debo's he's struggling lately,
Well,
but
they've been talking a lot about him this week. He said it himself too. Like he's like, I ain't been struggling. I just haven't been getting the ball, and I don't think he means it in like an egregious or like negative tone towards the coaching. But also at like post practices, like Brock Purdy's been answering questions about it, saying like he wants to get him the ball. So I see Debo's gonna get the ball tonight. Tonight, I see that happening. Is all I'm saying.
all
But yeah,
right,
man,
you
shout out San
foreshadowing
Fran.
something.
Yeah, San Fran, and it's against the Rams, obviously. But yeah, San Fran's been cooking too, man. There's another offense that last week they've been cooking, and they have a reason to play too, just like the Rams do. So that's gonna be a fun game. But shout out San Fran. Chicago is stinking it up, man. First game with the new coach, right?
Yep.
Yeah, terrible.
All
Yeah.
right, let's get into it, man. You guys off the doink, man.
Yeah. Well, for one, I'll say another game, and I at this point, oh, here's the dogs. At this point, I expected it. Our defense is just very almost elite. I guess you can say elite, dude. We're holding the Chiefs to 6 points in the second half, etc. or whatever. But man, we couldn't get the ball rolling on offense, and then we ended up getting to the point where we had to put in our fourth string tight end in Stone Smart. No one's heard this guy. I know him, but he should have been playing earlier, honestly. But he starts cooking. Josh Palmer finally steps up. I mean, we got QJ the ball in certain ways that we haven't ever done yet, which he should, where he excels in like short catch and runs. So in the second half, man, we looked really good. But we just couldn't win the game. We couldn't hold the fucking Chiefs. And I'll say whatever. The Chiefs got away with a lot of penalties on that last drive, and then they fucking doink a kick to get in. And
No, I
yeah,
mean I was really impressed with the Chargers this game. One, like you said, I mean you're holding the Chiefs offense down to just a handful of points and a half.
yeah,
QJ, he made some catches that I didn't think he was going to make. He made some plays I didn't think he was
yeah,
going to make. So the fact that you guys are kind of using him in the way that best suits him now, kind of wish you were doing that earlier. Also, kind of wish
yeah,
Lad McConkey was in this game. I
yeah.
think
That
that
would
would
be
have made
big.
made
That
a
would be big.
huge difference offensively. Um, I don't think the Chiefs really did almost anything on offense, other than get away with some penalties. And again, it came down to a doink, which you hate to see it. And the doink in is
Yeah.
statistically just way more
Well, and
improbable than a doink out. So
I'll say this. This is something I've never seen, especially Brandon Staley. I've never seen him do this, but like any coach that for the Chargers since I've been watching these post game conferences, he said Harbaugh said himself because in the first half, like first possession or second possession, I think we got to the 40, almost like the 40-yard line, and it would have been about a 57, 58-yard field goal, and we'd elected to punt the ball. Harbaugh said he's like honest. I mean, obviously in retrospect, but I really mean it. Like I wish I went for that field goal. Like I was questioning it, and I just chose not to. I should have done it. Like even just that field goal, if we made that, which Dicker, he's a great kicker. I really think he would have made it. We would have won the game. And there was other possessions in the first half where we stalled out right by the field goal range, and those one or two play calls or one or two decisions away to beating the Chiefs, and that makes me happier than more than any loss I've had all season. I'll say, I guess. So
like
yeah,
it was an L, but it wasn't a sloppy L. You didn't get your asses whooped. You were
yeah,
competitive all the way down to the last play. But that's also been the Chiefs' MO is somehow fucking pulling it out of their
yeah.
ass at the last
Mahomes
second.
Mahomes isn't gonna fuck up. That's one thing. Like Mahomes isn't gonna fuck up. So if you got the refs like not gonna call penalties, like right, and then you got the trust that you have in like Kelsey, and now you got D Hop too. Uh,
It's a tough
I still think
formula.
they're gonna go to the Super Bowl, dude. Like I mean, unless it's us, I want the Chargers to, but like yeah, no, it's just like Casey's just gonna win every game they get a chance to. Like, I'm surprised they even lost one. You know,
Yeah, well,
fuck
it
them.
is what it is.
Fuck the Chiefs.
All right, last game, Cincy at Dallas. We both got this one right. Cincinnati absolutely, I wouldn't say dominated
No,
them, but they had a.
no, yeah, I was gonna say Dowdle kept Dallas in the game, and then this was a crazy ending, right? This was the one where they, like old style, like in the '90s, Leon Lett from the Cowboys 2 times. He like he like muffed a blocked field goal after it went forward. That's what happened, man. They punted the ball, got blocked, and a Cowboys like corner who's supposed to guard the gunner, I think, touched the ball, and since he recovers and wins the game. Disgusting,
Unreal.
disgusting.
Unreal. But shout out Jamar Chase, man. He had a
Hmm.
hell of a game.
Yep.
Joe Burrow putting up big numbers again, and they did what they had to do. Got the dub.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they beat Dallas. Like even though there was a blocked punt or whatever, they beat Dallas. I
I
mean, they
mean,
shouldn't have. Seemed like
on
they weren't gonna
paper,
close. Yeah, like
for
it seemed
some
like
reason, yeah.
yeah. But Jamar cooked, man. Jamar Chase is the best receiver this year. I mean, he stayed healthy. I mean, obviously the team's not doing good, but he's been cooking, man. He's been cooking.
Now, is he the best receiver this year because they're playing a lot of come from behind football in garbage time sometimes, or
I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, 2 years from now, you'll look back to that season and be like, yeah, Jamar Chase had like first in receiving yards, first in touchdowns. He had like 200-yard games. Well, he was cooking. I mean, there's been great receivers this year, honestly. I think Nico Collins was like about to have that year till he got hurt. But Jamar just gets that crown right now. I don't know who else. And Justin Jefferson kind of like really fizzled out the last couple of weeks. He's finally back on track now, but
he hasn't had a tutty in probably 6 weeks.
yeah,
So I
till
mean,
this
it's
week, yeah,
you know,
yeah, man.
let's move on. We're gonna keep it a little shorter this week, so we're not gonna go over power
Pivot,
rankings.
pivot.
But let's jump right into our predictions.
We're gonna
Oh,
pivot.
I don't know what he's doing.
I like the latency. Like when I do it, it's funny to watch myself do it afterwards on the screen. It makes me laugh because it looks stupid as shit. We're gonna pivot.
All
It's a
right.
pivot. All right, my
Yeah.
bad.
All right. Cool.
Weed. It was weed.
All
It's the
right.
weed,
Yeah.
dude.
That's why.
Pounding the what? I need headphones that or earbuds that fit my goddamn ears, man.
All right. Week 15,
Yes, I
baby.
knew you'd pick the Rams. I knew it.
Oh.
But other than that, okay, I picked Houston. You picked Miami. But other than that, we got the same shit. So
So
hopefully I get those
pretty
right.
tight week.
Yeah, this should be a fun week. I guess we'll power through these real fast.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's kick it off. LA Rams at San Fran tonight should be a fun game. Both offenses look good.
Just about 3 hours away. With how
Yeah.
well the Rams played against Buffalo, who I had in my top power rankings for many, many weeks, and still have them very much high up in there. You know how well they played against them. I think they can do the same thing to San Fran.
Yeah, I guess I disagree. I think the way San Fran's offenses looked last week, at least, they were really producing, and then that's without Debo Samuel being who's obviously their most talented guy out there as a weapon producing. So hopefully I see Debo additionally with Kettle and Juan Jennings doing what they got to do in this very pivotal NFC West matchup. All right.
All right.
Oh,
KC
yeah.
at Cleveland. I think that's a pretty easy dub for KC. They've been handling teams who absolutely should have beat them. And
Yeah.
I do not believe Cleveland is a team that deserves to beat Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't think this matchup is going to be very good for Cleveland. Kansas City's defense is a defense that can hold this potentially explosive offense. So I see that happening, and Kansas City not losing to the Browns mostly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cincy at Tennessee. Cincy's offense is way too explosive. I think Tennessee, while they have maybe a couple corners who can shut it down, I don't think they can, deal with how explosive Cincy can be. And as long as their defense doesn't make any stupid mistakes against Tennessee, should be a pretty significant dub.
Yeah, Cincy's offense is very good. Tennessee's defense, like I guess I'm pretty sure like they don't allow many yards. Like they're like middle of the pack, but they always get a lot of points scored on them, and I think that's a lot because their offense is just very very terrible as of late. So yeah,
Bad field position.
oh yeah,
Washington at New Orleans. I think Washington needs to, kind of keep their momentum going if they're going to have any chance of staying in the playoffs. They were looking super hot earlier. They're starting to fizzle down a little bit. So I think it's important to finish the year strong, and hopefully they understand this message. I'm assuming
yeah.
they do because they were professionals and we're two idiots on a podcast. So if we can call it and they can't, please hire me. I'll be your consultant. But give me Washington over New Orleans.
Yeah, this is super big for Washington, man, especially with like just how the season started, man. They've got a lot of momentum. They got a lot of this fan base backing them, and then you got a really stagnant defense for them. But like now that you got Lattimore coming back, and I think Washington was on a bye, if I'm not mistaken. So
Should have
I
been.
believe they were. But regardless, big few games ahead, and I think they should beat New Orleans, man. I mean, I just think they should.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, they're actually in the seventh spot right now. If it were to end today, and if if they lose, they only have a 58% chance of making it. So this is very
Yeah,
important.
very big. I guess we'll move on now. We got Baltimore at New York. I think this is another one of those ones. It's like I don't see the Ravens losing to New York, especially after they just came off of a loss and then a bye. I could be wrong again. But yeah, they just definitely are in this like win now mode. I'm sure they wish they were higher up in the rankings than they are. So they're gonna beat up on the Giants. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no reason for Baltimore to lose against New York unless their heads are just not in this game for some reason. It could be one of those weeks where they're like, oh, the Giants are so bad, we're going to come up and whoop on them. They go light in practice, and they get, embarrassed. But I'm assuming it's not going to be the case. They did come off a bye, so they should be fully rested and healthy. By all means, they should win.
Yeah, I hope Neighbors goes off. But yeah, Dallas at Carolina. This is, hey man, like 6 weeks ago, both of us would have picked Dallas, right? Or I guess maybe a little longer than that. But Carolina, they look good. I'd be wrong to pick Dallas, man. I'm sure you agree. They look good.
Dallas is playing too sloppy of football. I mean, they have won a couple of their last, and they did take down Washington a few weeks ago as well. But Carolina has been kind of surprising me. And they stayed super close with Philadelphia, who absolutely whooped up on Dallas. So by logic, if they can bring that same mentality um, at home, I'm assuming they should win this game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they should be happy as far as a terrible team should be, right? Like they're like, hey, we're playing good football right now as the season ends up. So let's play this stinky Dallas team and beat up on them at home. I could see that
There
happening.
we go. We
Yeah,
got the Jets at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is coming off a dub. It was a very sloppy dub against a not so great team. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets were looking like a more solid team this last week. So give me the Jets.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure Trevor Lawrence is still going to be out. I'm pretty sure it was a few weeks at least. So yeah, New York looking a little bit better than they have been offensively with a good defense against the backup quarterback and Mac Jones who couldn't put more than 10 points up last week. Hell yeah, I think New York gets that dub.
All right, and this is a split here for us.
Yes.
Miami at Houston. I'm liking how Miami's been looking. Tyreek Hill's been getting back into it. Their tight end is absolutely cooking week after week. Devon Achane not putting up a whole lot of numbers on the ground, but he is an absolute asset as a receiving back. And Houston just haven't been playing solid football. So give me Miami.
Yeah. I'm just taking Houston at home, a team that needs to stay where they're at as far as their division lead and in the playoffs. And I think Miami that they did too much damage to themselves early on in the league season. And obviously they got a good chance still kind of at that last seed in the playoffs. I just think this is the week where it's all over, man. They threw the ball like 50 times last week it's not the first time ever they've done that obviously, but me saying that is because Tua didn't. I don't think Tua looked the best. I mean, obviously they came up with a dub. Uh, I just don't see a great. It's gonna be a well coached defense against a Miami team that's gonna throw the ball 50 times. I don't know. At home, give me Houston.
All right then, and we got Indianapolis at Denver. Huge game for us. We are quite literally on the edge of the bubble, and the Broncos have that spot. So,
Yeah,
if we lose this game, we're pretty much out. If we win and they lose, I mean, it's massive, right? It's a huge swing. They're currently 72% chance of getting in. We're currently at 27, but if we win, we're at a 58% chance, and they go down to 46. So it's a
yeah,
massive swing if we win this game. I think Indianapolis, they look good. They're coming off a bye week. Anthony Richardson's. This is a different version of him. He's playing really good football. Our tight ends can start catching the ball. Jonathan Taylor stays healthy and remains effective at that running back spot. I think we have a very good chance of taking this game, and they know how important it is. So give me Indy.
yeah, man. AR 3.0, and then you got what's his name? What's my dog's name? Josh Downs
Josh
is
Josh
coming
Downs is
back.
coming
Yeah,
back.
he's
Hell
a
yeah.
beast. Uh, I think Denver has a good defense, not great. And then when you have a well-coached offensive team that's coming in hot, that has a real big purpose coming into this week, like Indy, uh, I just lean Indy, just like gut feeling. And obviously, I'm rooting for your boys, so I see that happening as well. As long as AR just when he has the opportunity to air it out, makes those right decisions, doesn't turn the ball over, protects the ball, and then when he's running the ball, get his nose in the end zone. Get Jonathan Taylor some yards. I can see them beating a good Denver defense. Not great. Good, not great.
They're a good defense, but I don't know if they're ready to be able to effectively take the RPOs and the fact that AR can throw the ball 100 yards, especially at altitude like that. So,
Yeah. All
and Alec
right.
Pierce, man, he's number one in receptions, yards per reception. So, give
Really?
my man
Yeah,
love.
he's had so many big like early on this season especially too. He had a lot of big catches. I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that
he's
makes sense.
yards per reception, man. He's number
Deep
one. So
ball.
let's air it out. Run the ball early on and get our man big one down there.
Oh yeah.
All right, Buffalo at Detroit, two very good teams. You could argue. I mean, you could argue that this could have been a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You could have, but Detroit's still on fire. Buffalo's coming off that big loss. It's also kind of exposed that they do have some really big gaps in their defense that Detroit might be able to exploit. They have two really good running backs, and early on, Buffalo struggled against the run game, and then their receiving core, Amon Ra, Sam Laporta. I mean, they're hot. So, give me the lines.
Man, yeah, this is gonna be a great game, and now I'm sitting here thinking, and I can call an audible here, dude. Give me Buffalo, man. I think Buffalo's gonna beat Detroit, man. I'm picking it right now. They were the Kansas City Killer this year, and I called it. They're gonna be Detroit, the Detroit Death Man, Dead Makers. They're gonna be.
Yeah, what he
Yeah,
said.
I was trying to think of a synonym for
Why can't I?
killer that started
Why
with
can't I
D.
change it?
It's all good. We'll just highlight it or something. I picked Buffalo because fuck Detroit. Say nah, Detroit's hot, but Buffalo's fucking hot. Buffalo's get to play indoors 2 weeks in a row. They're putting up another 50, dude. That's just what I'm saying. Uh, yeah, and I need those swings. That's a game that makes me like feel warm inside, dude. It feels like makes me think of Christmas. What a good game. I'm excited for that. That's all I can
It's
say.
gonna be a great game, and look, I pretty much sat between the two for a minute before I finally decided to click Detroit. But I've had Detroit over Buffalo in my power rankings week after week, and this is me putting my money where my mouth is. So,
Oh yeah. Well, I changed my mind, so I didn't put my money where my mouth is. Pittsburgh at Philly. We both got Philly. That's another hard one. I really wanted to pick Pittsburgh. That's the one where I really sat there and was like, "What the fuck do I do here?" But that being said, Saquon Barkley. That's all I gotta say.
there we go. That's it.
Yeah.
Look, Philly just looks incredible right now. Not that Pittsburgh looks bad by any means, but Philly just looks really good. Saquon, he's ridiculous.
Yeah. Just run away from Watt. Run away from T.J. Watt. And you're good.
And look, the AJ Brown, Smith, getting healthy again. There's just options. So yeah, give me Philly.
Hell yeah.
New England at Arizona. All right, big game here, right? No, I'm just kidding. Arizona does need a dub at this point, though. I think New England might be statistically out. Arizona, though, I mean, they're barely hanging on to life. Even if they win, they're only at an 11% chance of staying in the playoffs. But if they have any hopes and dreams with some Christmas miracles from other teams losing,
Yeah.
they absolutely need to win this game and hope that the right people lose. So,
Yeah.
give me
I
Arizona.
I feel like it's probably been at least the last 2 or 3 weeks. Arizona, I picked them and they've lost, or I don't know if it's been consecutively, but they've been fucking me over, man. But I'm not gonna switch this one. It's just yeah. Arizona has more reason to play. I mean, even though, like you said, they need other teams to lose, definitely.
I've
Give
seen
me
crazier
Arizona.
things, man.
Yeah, but yeah, Tampa at LA. Give me my boys. Bolt up, baby. I think we're gonna cook here. Our defense is gonna make Baker look a little more sillier than he even already is. Hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sizzle my bacon, but LA, your defense, man. I've been kind of praising it all year long. They had another incredible game. Like again, they should have won that game, but it is what it is. I think Tampa Bay, while they are a great team and they are fighting for their lives, get in this thing. It's hard to move against the Chargers, and I swear to God, I think Lad McConkey is back, so I think
Yeah.
you know that definitely opens up a lot for your offense. And Baker makes a lot of mistakes, and I think this is not a good team to make mistakes again. So yeah, give me the Chargers.
Yeah, we've been definitely like exploiting quarterbacks who do that. So it makes me feel confident in that matchup this week, and I just that's what I think is gonna pan out. I think it's gonna be another low scoring, grinded out game that we've been in a lot, and hopefully we come out with a dub. We need these dubs, man. But yeah,
All right. Green Bay at Seattle. Seattle looks good. Green Bay looks great. Give me Green Bay.
yeah, same. I mean, it could go either way. It's gonna be a fun prime time matchup against two teams that are still competing for good spots in the playoffs. But yeah, Green Bay just looks a little bit better. I'm gonna go with them.
All right. We got Chicago at Minnesota. Minnesota still on a relative hot streak here. Chicago's offense, they've been struggling the last couple of weeks. It's curious to see how they'll play against Minnesota. But regardless, Minnesota's offense has really been turning it up the last couple of weeks and getting the right people involved. So, Skull.
Yeah, man. I can't go with Chicago on this one. They've been looking really stinky. Shout out Roma Dunze. I think he had a pretty good game, maybe best game of the year for him, or of his career that is then. But yeah, I'm not picking the Bears on this one with their interim head coach who's now 0-1. Probably will be 0-2. Yeah.
All right, and last one. We got two Monday night games again. I
God
didn't think
damn
I'd see
it.
that again.
Yeah,
I just really thought we
I
were
just
done with these.
realized that's insane. I hate them. They're the worst thing
Ah,
about NFL football.
yeah, man. Atlanta at Las Vegas. It's hard for me to root for Atlanta right now just because of how bad they've been playing. But Las Vegas is such a bad team that I can't in good conscience choose them.
Yeah.
So give me Atlanta.
Hey man, if all things go terribly, this could be Kirk Cousins' last game ever, at least as a Falcon, or maybe ever. Who knows? I don't know. That's pretty drastic, but
I think he
uh,
still has something in the tank, but
I don't know. He just looks so bad. He's thrown like 8 picks in 3 weeks or something like that. Am I? I thought I just muted myself for a second. Good. All right, but yeah, I still got Atlanta beating a stinky, stinky Vegas Raiders. Yep.
yeah, I think I don't know the Browns might benefit from Kirko. Maybe let's see what he does on an AFC team. I don't know.
I want Jameis to play as a starter next year. I
I
pray
want
he
him as a
starts.
starter on a good team though.
That's impossible.
But then I guess I think of all the good teams that they already have a solid quarterback.
Yeah.
So never mind. I take that back.
Well, I don't. I mean, I just don't think he. If he put him on like a good team, wouldn't he just make them worse? Like, you know what I mean? Put him on the Lions. Actually, no, no, I lied. I lied. You put him on the Lions, dude. He's better than Jared Goff.
Hmm,
They would like go to the Super Bowl and then he would like throw a pick six.
twice.
I don't know. But hey, this is exactly where we lead off real fast into saying, we hit, y'all. We fucking hit for $1 million.
I only got like 90 of that,
All right,
but
well,
if you hit
that's
a million, dude, I'm proud of you.
equally as happy no matter how much because we finally hit y'all. We're back. We're in the green. All right, we're not in the green.
No, we are
No,
not.
are we not in the green? Yeah. We put
Not for
$10
these
every week.
parlays.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
We're not
I
in
mean,
the
I'm in
green.
the green for the year because of my side parlays, but
Fuck. We're not in the green, but we're hey, if we're like one more parlay away from being in the
if
green,
we
maybe. Like we'll be like
if we hit
$10 in the
one
green.
more, if we hit tonight, we will be in the green for
Yeah,
sure.
because it's like week 15. Yeah, so this is our parlay, y'all. Y'all better follow because we're about to go on we're about to be 2-0 in parlays we've ever came up with.
2-0. We're 1-15,
No,
1-13.
two wins, 0 ties. We don't need to talk about the losses.
We're 1-13.
1-13 sounds terrible.
It sounds like your record against me in these picks.
Oh my god, dude. We'll talk. Hey, I'm down
All right,
11.
let's
I got
go.
a 3-game
Let's
swing this
go.
week.
Let's
So
go.
I'll start with my first one here. It's an alternate receptions. It's Puka Nakua at 7 receptions. Believe it or not, his regular line's at 7.5. At like plus 100. So I think 7's more safe, obviously. But Puka's been sure-handed. I'm sure he gets 7 targets. I'm sure he catches those 7 targets. You know what I'm saying? So
There we go.
there it is.
And then for my first leg, we got George Kittle, alternate 70 yards.
7-0 yards.
7-0. Look, he
That's
got
okay.
151 yards last week. He can get half of that. I
Yeah.
believe in him.
Yeah, he's been cooking, and I think this will be a high-scoring game. That being said, I think there's a guy who's prime time due for a touchdown, and that's my dog Debo Samuel. I think he'll score one of the many
Debo.
touchdowns tonight, baby. Whether it's a run or a catch, it don't matter. He's getting in the end zone, Debo Samuel.
All right, my last leg here is going to be a Kyron Williams tutty. He's hot, man. He's a solid run back, and they're moving the ball. There's no reason why he can't run or catch one into the end zone this week.
Hell yeah, I believe it. That's
I
a big one. That's a big like easy money one. I mean, I'm sure he's cashed that a lot, like almost every week probably this year already. So I
So
love
that's a plus 1164. So
hell yeah.
throw $10 on it, y'all. Get yourself $116.
Pound the
So,
wall. Make
I
some
don't have a
money.
Rams jersey, so I had to put the Rams helmet up. That's kind of
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's sick.
There. So
Yeah, this is not a Rams jersey. Just saying.
I've been trying to match the weeks, but so I just don't have them all yet.
You got Kittle though. That's a big flex that you even have the majority of them. But yeah, man. Once again, no matter what we do, the podcast ends at 45 minutes, even when we cut out fucking segments.
So we cut out segments, we add segments. Hell, we add people. It's always 45 to 55 minutes. I don't understand.
Life's a simulation. Thank you guys though once again for pounding the walk with us, man. It's always a pleasure. I'm always having fun, man.
I love when y'all pound my walk. I mean, pound the walk. Pound.
Pound your own walk, dude. Pound your own walk.
Pound the walk.
After the pod.
I just threw out my shoulder doing that.
The spinning?
Fuck. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Ta-da.